How you doing? Want to show you a little something. We was on this 66 kick. Uh, Geez, I didn't even think a thing that you guys would like 66's. Never thought about it, I guess. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We got this plastic. I wasn't actually trying to sell that one that I put on video that was like, wow, it's just a spare. What do I do with this one? I was just going to wait down the road. That video wasn't up 10 minutes, and Daryl Burgess says, Harv, I got to have another one of them saws. That's what he said. I said, man, he says, can we work this out? And I said, well, yeah. I was going to build him a 44. And he said, let's talk about it. So we hashed it out. And he says, I kind of jumping on board with that. He says, I got that 2171 there that you sent me. He says, that's a ripper. But I could use a bigger saw. I get into the work where I get some big stuff that's in town. I need a bigger saw. He says, I could use it. He said, I know that 2171 will do fine, but I just like to have it. So we hashed it out and come up with a thing. And now I'm putting this blue plastic on mine. Boy, that looks purple in the video, don't it? It's not. It's blue. It's a pretty blue, actually. And I like the fact I even found a little emblem that snaps in there, which I was surprised about that, but I did. And I found I can get more of them. Okay, I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. This is a crank, and I put a new bearing, just slid it on a bit, for the 372, that's 70cc, 71, This is the crank out of a 66. Can you see the difference in the size of the bearings? Now, interestingly, as far as feeling the way, it's hard to tell, but that 66 has a little more on the throw here, probably on the counterbalance than this one. But there's not a lot of difference in size like you'd imagine, but the bearing size is monstrous different, ain't it? It's just a monstrous bearing on them 66's. Okay, and I'll tell you why that is. That rotating assembly is heavy on a 66 because that piston weighs more. That's why they put a bigger bearing. And it's just probably a little bigger than that. Makes them a good candidate to build, doesn't it? Okay, so we know that. I've had at least 30 emails from people saying, Harv, I want that 66 that's on your bench. Can you please sell it? And I even had a couple phone calls last night from people I talked to on the phone occasionally. And both of them said, hey, I want that saw. Can we work? I said, geez, I'm sorry I sold it, Well, if you get any more in it, I put me on the list. Well, I can't put 30 people on a list, can I? I can't find them saws. When you do, they really bring some money. They really do. So think about that. And I did. I said, okay, we got parts available for these saws all over the place. What if we built 10? One a month. Daryl Burgess's don't count. I can buy them Farmer Tech kits. You've seen them, and you can get them in the blue. What I would do is buy the white with the orange kit, buy the blue plastic to go along with it. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. And I will build 10 saws, and they'll sell. Because I'm going to use a brand new crank, not a junk one, a good one. I'm going to use a Weisco forged dome piston in it. The best bearings and seals you can get. We're going to use the original brand new Walboro carburetor, not the Chinese one. We're using the cases and the plastic and probably the tanks, because I like the tanks actually on that series saw. They work good. I'm going to upgrade the clutch, and wherever it's necessary, the ignition. I got to test the ignition, see what the heck we got, but I just might. But the chain brake, definitely. And I'll tell you why. And we're going to set that chain brake up where that's real real reactive. So if that kicks back, because these heavy saws, when you build them, they really got a lot of torque. If you touch something with that bar, that'll kick back, and a lot of people can't hold on to them. I don't want to get anybody hurt, so it's going to have an inertial chain brake. Is what it's going to be, for all intents and purposes. Now, the problems with the steels always has been is you got to pull the trigger, set the choke, blah, 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 and then you got to find your high idle. And I'll tell you what, that gets aggravating. When you get used to it, it's just less aggravating is all. If any of you ever pick up one of my personal saws, you don't got to deal with all that. It's boom, 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 everything works right. I know the trick to getting them working the way they're supposed to. In fact, I showed one of the steel dealers what to do with it, and he started setting all his up, and people just liked it. And that was years ago. So we're going through some upgrades. Now, these saws are going to have a red, white, and blue theme. You can imagine we're going to do the red and white stripes on the bottom with the blue plastic with the stars. Okay? All 10 of them are going to be fairly much the same. I think there might be a little bit of difference. Or if you think that we ought to make them exactly the same, I'm going to do a number system and be 1 through 10. And now these are not going to be cheap saws. They're very expensive to build, even though you're starting out with the Chinese stuff, because you're throwing 3/4 of it away. Okay? But at least I got something I can build 66's for. Now, being said, one a month. If you have an interest in one of them, this is not for the faint-hearted to bother me about it, because, and it's not that it's a bother, because it's not, but the price will make the dog gag, I'm pretty sure. At least my dog, and I don't even have a dog. But the amount of work that has to go into that saw on top of the amount of parts that you have to buy brand new to make a real good saw, I mean top shelf, with a special paint scheme. I don't know if we're going to do it in vinyls or paint. I got to see. We've got a lot of talent in this area, and there's people I can reach out to that it wouldn't be so bad if we had a wrap to put on these. We just have to see how it goes, you know. You got to have the stars on the top cover, and you got to have the red and white. I don't care if it's a flowing stripe around the base of the saw and one thing and another, but you got to do that. And on the starter cover, on them ones where the steel template goes, I kind of thought we'd do, an Iron Horse theme right there. I think that'd be kind of cool. And it'll get the Iron Horse stickers and stuff. But when I got done figuring out what that cost me to build a saw that I'd be proud to take to the woods, other than the darn things would be too darn pretty to take in the woods, but do it anyway. You bought it, use it. I don't build the stuff sit on shelves. I don't go with that. Use this stuff. Okay, now that being said, I'm building one a month. Those of you that are serious about chainsaws and want something highly unusual you can't get anywhere else, get 1 of 10. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a man that's serious about chainsaws. Dan Cavaletti. Did I say that right, Dan? I want you to look what he sent me. No, it's not a gift. Oh, I love this saw. It just looks like Orange Crush, don't it? I mean, shouldn't we name it something like that? This saw, it's an X-Torque. He sent it to me to build. We're going to do a big bore with a dome. And some real special stuff to this saw. He told me right out, whatever you can dream up, do it, Harv. He says he's serious. This saw, it's been used. The only way I could tell that was used, he keeps this so clean, was how many times his chain fell off and he's got sawdust and stuff on this little roller still. And that was it. But this saw, look, it's got the sticker on the bottom. You might as well say this saw's new. I mean, it is. If you ever in your life seen anything that had nothing anywhere distinguishable. It's gorgeous. Dan was one of them that sent me an email. The guy I'm doing this saw for, and says, Harvey, I want that 66. Just tell me what the price is. That's all he said in his email. He ain't messing around. So I talked with him, told him the same thing I told you guys. Well, I'm going to buy these Holtz Farmer Tech kits, throw all the parts away that aren't any good, and we're going to use the cases and the plastic and upgrade. Major upgrades. I said, make it right up into something pretty nice. And I told him about the scheme, and they're going to be called American Dream, and with a red, white, and blue theme, and 1 to 10. He said, okay. He said, I want the first one. I said, well, we really should test these. That's fine. He said, I'll test it for you. I said, Dan, really? Yeah. I says, Dan, I said, I figure out what that's going to cost to build him. I told him exactly what it cost to build, and I didn't even think anything about decals or artwork or whatever on them at that point. So I was a little shy there, but I figured that wasn't no big deal. I just wanted him to know that you got a lot of money in a freaking saw, just in parts, you know. Them Holtz Farmer kits, they're, what, 240, 260, depends on, you know. But then when you start adding up hundreds of dollars on top of hundreds of dollars for all these really good parts, I mean, come on, a Weisco Racing Dome piston for a big bore 66 mag and it's forged, yeah, we need that. We need the bearing upgrades. We need the seal upgrades, the clutch upgrades. There's many things about the saw that has to be addressed to make it better yet than Steel ever thought of. And it's stuff from me running them for years and friends of mine running them for years. We knew what cropped up, and we knew what to do about it. And I ain't forgot none of that. Dan got the first one, and I didn't even got any parts in to build them. I'm doing this saw probably in the next week because, you know, we got Jacob's saw there. If it quits raining, we got to run that in the wood. We're going to run my stock 66 Magnum. I rebuilt it a few years ago, 10 years, 12, 15 years ago, maybe. I bought all the parts from Steel to do it when it needed it, and I just decided to do it. It still looks like crap, but I'm reaching out to people to see if we can't get the original flat top covers and stuff to make it look a little prettier. But that's a good, strong saw. It's not high rotted. We're going to compare Jacob's 370 to that stock 66 the best we can. And you'd be surprised. Now, I got a strong 66. It ain't a weak one. It's a strong one. And you'll see that in videos. But I'm interested in seeing that little test. It's just because I don't care which one's faster than the other, and it don't matter. Hard to compare 70cc to 90cc saw class. It's hard to do it. But one might get an advantage over our other here or there, but we'll see. But it'd be fun to run it. You guys got the interest in 66s. This is the best I can do for you. If you have a 66 and you want it done and say, look, I'd like to do this, it's not going to be one of the 10. I'll build it the way you want it. But it's not going to be one of the 10. Daryl Burgess, I'm going to build mine first. Daryl Burgess gets his second. He's getting the full American theme. Maybe I'll do that to mine too. And it's pretty much the same parts, other than both of our cases are going to be the West German steel cases instead of the Holtz Forma. But I don't have a problem with them Holtz Forma cases. I've used them for a long time with very good luck. They're quite strong. I've never had a problem with them. Throw the crank away, throw the cylinder away, throw the piston away, throw the clutch away, get rid of them fuel lines, put the good stuff in, do everything right, you know, have it be something you be proud of for the next 30 years, you know, because you're not going to wear them out. You're just not. They're just a brute. Those of you that want a high-end saw, that's how you get it. You'll think it's expensive, but if you stop and look the parts up just like I did, and you realize that's pretty cheap. And you can duplicate this, because I'm going to tell you why you can. Just don't use my paint scheme or my theme if you can. I'm going to show you on video how to build these saws, okay? You'll know what you're getting if you buy it. You'll know what you're getting if you send me yours. You'll know what you're getting if you want to do it yourself. I'm not going to hide it. I got no secrets. There ain't no reason to, is there? One a month. We only got 9 more left, and I ain't even got started. What do you think of that? Now, on a lighter note, Wednesdays is my weigh-in. First thing in the morning, I weigh in my shorts and my shirt, and then I get to work. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something right now. These overalls are way looser than they were, and I feel good. I was strong when I was riding that dirt bike last Saturday. We went right out of that Saturday, 6.5 hours of riding. I probably got a full 5 hours of actual riding, and got right up Sunday morning, decided to go up and cut a load of firewood. Did that, felt great, and ended up with that little 24-hour bug of some sort. It just slammed me, it hit me in the middle of the night, and it went away by last night. I still got a little itchy throat, but my nose ain't burning and running, and I'm not coughing and hacking so much. So it's gone. And I feel good. I feel real good. Okay, on the way in, I have not done anything but stick to a very strict diet. When I get hungry, I either have a cup of coffee or a glass of water. I mince just a little during the day, just like you're supposed to. And I'm doing it the way I can do it. It's just, but I've cut the carbs completely out. I limit myself to a half a glass of milk a day. I gotta have a little milk. Come on. Okay, so the first week we lost 9 pounds. Well, guess what? I got real active. Started really doing an exercise ball. Jesus, it really, it's throwing a hurt out of me. Now it's getting where it feels good, that hurt does. It ain't like, oh my God, I wish I didn't do that. Still can't get a leg up yet. My time's coming. It's close. I can stay at it quite a long dang time, I'll tell you that. But I gained 4 pounds. 4 flipping pounds. From last Wednesday to this morning, I gained 4 pounds. I'm back up to 294. I ain't that awful, but these are looser. These are much looser. What do you... Yeah, I know what you're going to tell me. Well, you gained a little muscle mass. Can you gain 4 pounds of muscle and mass in a week? I don't know. Is my scale lying? Yeah, it's a lying-ass scale. All of them lie. They're like ex-wives, ex-husbands. That's the way it is. That's what scales do. Well, my problem was I jumped back on it second time, made sure it was 0, and it was 4 pounds. We knew that would happen. This isn't the first time this has happened to me. I'm not going to get upset because I'll tell you what, my overalls didn't get tighter, they're still looser. And I'll tell you another thing, I can really move now. Any of you who've seen me at Bucket Stock knew I was having trouble. Of course, I drove 8.5 hours straight without really stopping, only for gas once. And by the time I got out of the car, I couldn't walk. And then the whole thing in Bucket Stock, I couldn't really walk. Now I can. I'm moving around. And I got a lot of bright ideas now. That's not good, is it? But it is what it is. We're just going to keep going. I know this is working. I do. I know this is working. I had to lengthen these out a little bit. They got a little... I know that ball is giving me a lot of upper body workout. It is. Well, you got to see what it does to your abs. Cheekers, creepers, under all this fat. You got a slim man in there. I mean, he's starting to get in shape. Just got to get the peel of fat off to see it, I guess. But I don't think too many people want to arm wrestle me right now. I got that hooked. I found that out. I always been kind of a strong person. Well, when you born and raised on a dairy farm, and your dad works hard, and your uncles and your granddad, you grow up working, and then logging for a lot of years. You're not weak when you're doing all that. Anybody that wants to mess around and try to grab a hold of a logger, I'm gonna warn you, if he's in shape, I'm not. I'll admit it right now. It's like grabbing hold of a tree stump. You don't want to do that. They got balance like crazy, and you just wish. I used to have people that, back when I was young and I was just freaking crazy good shape, grab a hold of me and they get all upset, maybe because their girl or something was smiling at me or something. You add 2, 3 beers to an idiot, and he gets thinking about things, And well, you get grabbed a hold. I just ignore it. And I was sitting one time at a club, just went in for a couple drinks and leave, happy hour thing. And no, I wasn't driving. Another guy was. So that's the way that went. But I had this guy grabbing a hold of me. Well, I had a draft beer, And so I'm sitting there, and this guy's trying to wrestle me off this bar stool. And I got this draft beer, and I just kind of locked up. I lit a cigarette. I started sipping on that beer. He's trying to wrestle me and tell me he's going to kick my butt. Well, he tried to pull me out this bar stool. Well, I took another sip of beer, and that didn't happen. And the whole place was quiet. I mean, there was 100 people in there. It got quiet, and I'm just sitting there. Well, this guy's bound and determined. Well, his girlfriend gets up, and she says, no, John, get off. You don't want to. She said, I got a feeling we better leave. No, I'll kick his butt. And so I drank my beer, and I stopped. And I turned around, and I said, there's something I can do for you. And it was a joke is all it was. So I understand this was just a joke. Well, he said, I'm going to kick your butt. I said, no, I think you would have done it already if you really wanted to. This ain't exactly the best story, and I'm not proud of myself. So I grazed over, and I grabbed his girlfriend, and I picked her right up, and her butt cradled in my arm, and I whispered in her ear. I said, let's play a joke on him. I said, I'm going to just carry you outside. And she just fine with that. I threw her over my shoulder like a caveman. I walked out the bar and left him standing right there, right? Well, he tried to leave. The bartender said, hey, you ain't paid your tab yet. You ain't going nowhere. So out I went, and I sat her down. Oh, my goodness. She thought I was serious, man. She tried to put a lip lock on me. And I would have fought off more if she wasn't so darn pretty. I tried fighting. I couldn't. Anyway, I said, this is stop. I says, this is just a joke, Let's go and get him. And, well, she got all pouty. She went down the side. Well, I went in there, and he's standing there trying to count money, and he didn't have quite enough money, so I threw a $10 bill. I say, man, you have a drink with me. So we had a drink. I said, you don't want that girl. I said, she's way too pretty. You mean I ain't good enough? No, I said, I'm not saying that. I said, what I'm trying to tell you, she is going to get noticed by all your friends. And I said, you're going to have to fight them all. I said, I got an idea that she's pretty frisky, ain't she? Yeah, I have trouble with her. I bet you think about that, okay? Well, they ended up getting married and having a family together. Well, I ain't got to tell you probably what happened because I mean, I know what happened, but he told me about 5 years later, he says, Harv, I went to school with him. He said, why don't you just kick my butt right there that day for being stupid? He says, I would have been so much better off. And he says, why didn't you try to tell me a little harder what I was dealing with? I said, well, when you're in love, ain't nobody going to tell you nothing, are they? No, they ain't. And now this ain't really meant to be a story, it's just a fact. But this is the birds and the bees, ain't it? That's the way it is. I don't have that problem now. Their girl don't look at me very much anymore. And if they do, they think they smell money, but they don't understand. I ain't got 2 nickels to rub together. I'm the poorest man you ever met. I'm poor. But that's fine, because I'm happy, and I got you guys' friendship. I really do, and I know it. And you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to bucket stock already, and it ain't, my goodness sake, we got a whole dang year to wait. Because the ones that I seen last year, I want to see all of you again. And anybody by that time that does go, and I've built a saw and you got it, carry it to bucket stock. I want to see how things are going for you, That's going to be so cool for me this year coming up. It really is. No, I don't know where it's going to be. Don't matter, I'm going. You get the same attitude. I know you do. You really do. Kripke, he's in the hospital in Germany. Get better, buddy. You and I got things to do. Okay? You get better. but take it easy doing it, okay? Plain and simple. Bill Block, good friend. Bill Block is from Australia. Let me tell you what he does. He sends me a cup of coffee every morning. I think I told you that. Yeah, just a little picture of a coffee mug with a smiley face on it. He said most every morning. And we talk and we visit about saws and one thing and another. And Marcy, he lives just above Syracuse. He don't live far from me. I didn't know that till a couple weeks ago. And me and him talked some. Remember out in Buckenstock, he had that vicious saw with that freaking racing pipe on it. And that was built by Mastermind, I think. Hey, if you're watching Mastermind, you did a good job on that saw. That's nice. And Marcy knows it too. And I'd take that. I'd have you build me one other than I know somebody, just kind of do my own. But I've got them cases soaking for that old one that my buddy had. I'll tell you what was funny about that. I decided to put them in some diesel fuel to soak that all out. Well, I get up this morning and I decided I'm just gonna. I had them scrubbed up best I could, but boy, that bar oil and gas and the sawdust that gets in there, you let that set 30 years, and it comes to be something like blacktop or tar. I mean, it just stuck right on there. So I'm blowing this sucker off. Man, this friggin' cloud of fumes of diesel fuel. I'm in a little room all over, man, I'll tell you. And I was like, my God, my hair's wet and one thing and another. So yeah, I was a little late getting hay this morning, but I had to get a shower. You know what's funny? I need another one. I still smell like diesel fuel. If you get a bright idea to clean something up with diesel fuel and you got to blow it off, don't do it inside. That was bad. Okay, I got to let you go. We're past 25 minutes, and I'd like to get this up. Thank you so much for being here. IronHorseChainsaw@gmail.com. That's how you get a hold of me. I'll try to remember to put it up on this end of this video in the description or something. You'll find it.